WWE is going through a weird phase. At one time, they were like any other territory in wrestling. When Vince McMahon took it over from his father, WWE was ready to change the world. McMahon eliminated the territory system and brought in national companies. WWE was no longer going to compete with other territories because they had used the television market to reach people's homes across the US. They would face issues later as some territories did stand up to them, with WCW emerging as another national promotion. Coming at a time when TV ratings mattered, the Monday Night Wars were one of the best times to be a wrestling fan. In the end, McMahon's grit proved to be greater and his company was the one who came out winning, buying out WCW. Now, more than ever, it's looked like McMahon may be planning to sell WWE. This is Wrestling Up, and here's why a WWE sale would create more problems for the company. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. First, we must address why there is speculation of a sale. In the 90s, WWE was at the top of its game. Till then, wrestling was nationally divided with a territory system. In this, territory shared top wrestlers. McMahon felt there was no reason to stick to this system. Instead, he used the television set, which was still new in the country, to broadcast in homes all across the US. At the same time, he signed wrestlers to fixed contracts, which made them exclusive to his company. Together with the release of the first ever pay-per-view, WrestleMania, he established himself. In the 90s, although he was competing against WCW and was not always in the best place, at no point would the company need to be sold. There has been a change in how things are being run today. Triple H, the man who was speculated to be Vince McMahon's successor, had to take a step back from being active following a heart condition. At the same time, his popularity with Vince also declined as fractures appeared between them when considering how wrestlers and his brand NXT was being treated. Also, Shane McMahon does not look like he will be succeeding his father either, as he's been let go from the company. There's a good chance the company is getting ready for a sale, bringing in Nick Khan. Khan's arrival beckoned the release of almost 200 wrestlers over the past 2 years. Disney and many other companies have even been speculated as the ones who would want to take over WWE in the coming years. Still, all's not well. So let's take a look at why this potential sale is a problem. A smart business person who buys WWE would then hire someone who is familiar with the company and how it runs. They would have to hire someone from the industry. However, if Nick Khan is a model for how they may act, it's possible they hire someone who does not know about wrestling. Instead of it being a wrestling show, WWE would become a sitcom. The new owners would have to come into a business where they have possibly only heard of WWE, only to find out there's another promotion out there that wrestlers are more than willing to defect to. They would have to understand the concepts of the different matches and the reasons. There would be backlash from fans for every poor decision they made after taking control. On top of that, they would have to deal with a loss of confidence from fans. While some will be more than willing to give them time to show their plans, the McMahon family losing control of the company will mean many will lose interest. Not only that, the loss of interest and change in ownership will also lead to a sharp fall in value. WWE is not just another company. It's one that has been controlled for the last 5 decades by one man and one man only, Vince McMahon. Seeing that man disappear from WWE and others emerging to try and take his place, a feat that is impossible by itself, would be enough for the price of stocks to fall, as a lot of people would be selling their shares at the time. WWE has not been sold for one reason. Vince McMahon is a determined man who is not about to sell the company that he worked so hard to build. There have been quite a lot of tough times for the company over the years. There was the steroid scandal, the Montreal Screwjob, the accusations of what went on behind the scenes and abuse, the plane ride from hell, the Chris Benoit incident, and quite a few other moments where the McMahon family had to step up and shoulder responsibility. But now that he is coming to an age where he can no longer keep the company running like he used to, there's a chance he might sell. Even if someone buys WWE, there's no saying that they would keep the company. Given the fact that the company is now making a lot of money, it looks lucrative. With declining viewers and interest, a sale might even be the nail in the coffin though. The company would use radical measures to bring fans back, but knowing most corporate entities, they would do everything but the one thing they need to, listen to the fans. As a result, seeing that the company might be more trouble than it's worth, they might copy what Ted Turner did in 2001, get out of the wrestling business. As a result, they would sell to anyone and probably not at the highest price. Whoever would buy the company might not be able to use that well, and this could continue until someone like Tony Khan buys it. If that's the case, WWE may end up in the hands of AEW. A new owner of the company will be looking first to increase profits. Over the last decade, a lot of changes have been made to WWE with the long-term future of the company in mind. Instead of just focusing on the short-term, Triple H expanded NXT and took it to the UK with plans of moving to Japan, India, and more. However, the pandemic would ravage these expansion plans. Not only was it halted, but over time, NXT, the future of WWE, was also broken down and made into a worse copy of the company's main roster, NXT 2.0. A new owner would dismantle other proceedings, costing them money. NXT UK might be one of the best things for Triple H to have done, but a new owner might do away with it, not seeing the value of having some roots down in the UK, one of the biggest wrestling markets. Until 2020, it was natural for WWE to release approximately a dozen wrestlers from its roster annually. With the pandemic, WWE has decided to nearly wipe out their rosters. WWE's roots date back to the early 1950s as the Capital Wrestling Corporation. Over the decades, it went through multiple name changes, from the Worldwide Wrestling Federation in 1963 to World Wrestling Federation in 1979. In 2002, it was finally named World Wrestling Entertainment, and in 2011, it was strictly abbreviated to WWE. All this time, WWE enjoyed success, as there was no other promotion big enough to go up against them. Vince McMahon was able to utilize some leftover WCW talent and bought video content. Knowing the future of entertainment was cable and streaming, WWE has successfully marketed its brand worldwide with local shows in various countries. WWE has participated in national events, charities, and has started its own network channel. The wrestling juggernaut makes millions in revenue, and its brands like SmackDown and Raw are watched by large audiences. Most people know McMahon as a businessman and an on-screen personality. However, he is who made WWE what it is. Despite all its flaws, the company has encouraged millions to fall in love with wrestling. Wrestling might not be as big as it is if it weren't for WWE. Despite all the controversial things said about Vince, he has a heart too. The Undertaker, Ric Flair, and Medusa are just a few people who can attest to that fact. While there are plenty of great new promotions such as New Japan, Impact, and AEW, we still can't help and wonder why WWE is releasing a ton of great wrestlers. Some say this talent shedding implies the imminent sale of WWE, though considering the impact of WWE and the McMahons on the industry, it will be strange if they sell. The fabric of the wrestling industry would change, and not in a good way. Regardless of the rumors, it is unlikely WWE will be sold. In an interview with the Sports Business Journal, President Nick Khan stated WWE has heard some offers, but is not actively looking for buyers. As mentioned, WWE has been taken care of by the McMahon family. They know the history of the company, and at times, they seem to know what it is casual fans want to see. While at times recently the latter part might have been missing, there are reasons someone new arriving on the scene would not do anything to fix the current issues. It's probable that even more issues would arise for the company. For Vince McMahon, WWE was definitely the way they made money, but that was not all that it was. It was something they had built from the ground up. While their ideas for what should be shown in WWE might not be the same as fans, they do care what happens to the company. For a new corporate owner, the importance of the wrestling business will be minuscule. Instead, the person of the company will only be thinking about profit. If Nick Khan's presence in WWE has upset fans, they will have to get used to that. One of the issues bothering fans the most has been the 3-hour show of Raw. That will be something they would hope the new owners change, but they won't because of the money coming in. Instead, they would then get other shows to be bigger. As Nick Khan said, SmackDown could be a much longer show as well, as that would be much more profitable for the company. Storylines will take a step down in the hierarchy of what's important, something that can already be seen since Khan's arrival. There will definitely be more WWE appearances for celebrities, Bad Bunny and Jackass stars playing important roles in the Royal Rumble, to Logan Paul making regular appearances, and other stars coming over the months will become common sights. Such celebrities will probably play a bigger role in the company over the likes of the actual wrestlers, who have worked hard to build experience and credibility. They will also hire more writers who are TV writers and not wrestling fans. While these writers may be talented, they are not qualified to write television for wrestling, as they know nothing about the current wrestling fans and what they want. These writers would end up writing storylines that end up driving fans away. While viewership might increase over the next few years thanks to the new angles it would bring to the show, it would be at the cost of the current fans. It's likely that a large portion of hardcore fans who tune in regularly to WWE won't be able to enjoy the new product. Another aspect that will probably play a large part is that cable TV is losing the shine that it once had. With with everyone turning to OTT platforms. WWE is already on Peacock, and it's only a matter of time before all the shows start streaming with an OTT instead of cable. Within the next decade, a lot of changes are coming thanks to the development of technology, and with new ownership, it's almost guaranteed that the new owners won't take fans into consideration when making decisions. This can be seen on UFC already. The brand has made several changes over the years, which have not always been quite favorable. Currently, to watch their normal events, aka UFC Fight Nights, fans must have a regular ESPN Plus subscription. That's not all though. Given that they are already paying for an OTT platform, it should have been safe to assume that fans could then watch the live, bigger shows as well, but no. It is now compulsory for anyone to watch a UFC pay-per-view to have an ESPN Plus subscription. No, a UFC pay-per-view is not included in the subscription. Fans need an ESPN Plus subscription just for the privilege of buying a UFC pay-per-view for $75. If a corporate structure takes over WWE, not only is it likely that the old problems won't be solved, but new ones will come up. And these were problems with a potential WWE sale. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.